You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Life advice. The email address is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. Fire them away. You know, everything's on the table. Maybe nothing's on the table. We got Kyle. We got Steve. All right. So go ahead, Cerruti. I can already see you get this smirk on your face. And I was like, all right.
No, I mean, we have to address this. It was all over
controversy.
The socials last night. You know, and we're coming out of the interview too with Boz, who, by the way, big fan. It was awesome. That song Tribe has been in my playlist for about 5 years now. Shout out to FIFA soundtrack. But you posted a picture at your place of you two, and man, I don't want to say you broke the internet. People use that too much, but we got a lot of action on that last night. It's you, for those of you that haven't seen it. It's you guys during the interview. Everything looks great, but you're just sitting on the couch and you're just barefoot right in front of our guy. And it's just I know you enough to know, like, as you said, you're probably lucky enough to be wearing a shirt at that situation, but going shoeless in an interview with a guy that I think you met for the first time is a pretty bold move, even for Russillo.
Yeah, so it was at my house, and Boss came down with Derek, his manager, and I'd been texting with them now for years, going back to when I first heard New World Order. Look, you've already listened to the interview, so you know the whole backstory. I hear this song, I'm immediately in love with it. I'm like, who is this guy? And then once I figured it out, and then Amin El Hassan and Waz had kind of been like, hey, we know him, like he's one of our guys. And so they sent me all this gear, and I would play Boss coming back from commercial break at ESPN Radio. So it was like a fun little cool thing. We would text. I think there was a night where it was pretty late, and I was playing it, and there were some guests at the house, and they were like, who is this? I was like, oh, it's my dude. And we've like FaceTimed him at like 3 a.m. Did not go answered. Cool. So that's fine. Yeah, right. So they were like, wait, you know him? I'm like, yeah, I know him. They're like, call him up. I was like, all right, no problem. And it didn't work out. The man's a world traveler. So the point is, there's always been kind of like a cool relationship there. I love his music. I was really excited about the new album coming out. And so they were like, let's do the interview at your house. And so I was like, you know what? We never do it. We've never done that. I didn't even think we did it. I think we did it with Cowherd once, like years ago. I think Woj did one with me, but it was for it. So whatever. It was something we had talked about doing more if it made sense with people coming through Los Angeles. And so this is the one, and I'd moved. And so he came by, and you're right. Like I usually don't even have a shirt on most of the time. So I threw on a hoodie for him because I thought that would be pretty weird.
What a guy.
When Kilborn came over and was like, are you going to put a shirt on? I was like, yeah, I throw it on for you. But, in my house, I wasn't going to walk around with sneakers on the rug area. But I guess I could have put,
obviously.
Right. I could have put, I guess I could have put socks on, but I didn't really think about it. And then all it's been is feet commentary the entire time, which, again, I don't know. I don't think my feet are repulsive. And I'll tell you, if you show me a man with like perfectly groomed feet, I'll show you a man I don't trust. So I'm not worried about the feet, criticism, because I just think it was, but yeah, maybe looking back, I could have put socks on, but he didn't say anything. I could check.
I thought it was more the short inseam choice that people were getting at too. I didn't think it was all. I thought it was. We went with the 7 inchers, the 5 inchers. What's
we didn't
see
know
on those bad
That's
boys?
Got to be a 5-inch. You can see you can see either the line or the
you see
underwear in that one.
Your little undies in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess. First of all, those aren't the 5-inch inseams that I had in the Pardon My Take one, where I look like I'm wearing a fucking swimsuit.
You're about to go bungee jumping, and they got a harness on you, right?
Yeah. Those are straightforward shorts. Those are normal shorts. But when you sit on the couch in an interview, like the whole time, they're just bunching up. They're bunching up. So I could have pulled them down for the picture, but I wanted it to be live action. I wanted the picture to represent like the emotions of the interview. Yeah.
I think we're
not posing.
The great juxtaposition was like rappers are generally these like, hardened dudes. And here you are like shoeless, showing a lot of thigh. It's just in your house. It was just a great juxtaposition. Like Bass isn't like Snoop Dogg or something, but still like it was a cool photo. I'm glad it exists.
I also did notice he is wearing socks. Did you ask him to take his shoes off?
No, he just took his off.
Oh,
I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't going to ask anybody to take any shoes off. Yeah. Like if I have guests over, I don't want everybody to have to take yeah, it'd all be a better world for all of us in our houses. Everybody took their shoes off all the time. But like if a buddy comes over, I tell him to take his shoes off. Like I'll just deal with it. You know, the vacuum exists, you know, and granted, it's not like some alpaca rug here where no one can ever like,
you block that shit.
Yeah, it's alpaca. So you can't, I didn't want to tell anybody to do anything. I mean, shit, it was bad because we were like just so hyped up to get to hang out and talk. And I loved the interview. I hope people liked it. So I didn't even think about it. I didn't even.
I know you didn't. I didn't think you were. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's so funny about it. As we're going to continue to Zapruder film this thing, and just because it's you, there's so many different layers. You also tagged John Elliott, which is incredible.
Yeah, that was a classic Instagram Russillo thing, though. That was great.
Yeah, because I didn't want Legends to get upset with me that I had tagged. You know, they're not competing clothing brands. I think all my guys at Legends understand that, and so yeah, I like at first, and then some people were just like straight up like, "Hey, what's up with that hoodie?" So I was like, "Well, we like John. He was awesome. He came on the pod and the whole deal." And then I tag him, and people look at it and be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because they're on the pricier end of things. So I was like, "All right, look, don't get mad at me. Like I'm not running their marketing, man. You asked me where the hoodie was from." But Boss was great, man. He was really cool, and he's a huge sports fan, as we know. So it was, I need, you know what I'll do for the behalf, like just for the audience, I will text him, be like, what did you think about me not having any socks on? Because it's apparently a thing.
Can we just shout out Russillo memes real quick? Wasted no time. The guy's just on it. Guy, girl, whoever it is. Pretty sure it's a dude. That guy was on it.
Yeah.
And didn't waste any time. The Sharon Stone reference, come on.
It was great.
Come
on.
God damn.
It was immediate.
Yeah.
You know, because I knew I was going to post it because I just thought it was, you know, hey, whatever. I don't really post that much stuff. And, you know, I just big fan of his. So I was like, yeah, shit, he's in my house. Like, let's do something. And, you know, I want to help him get the word out with the album and everything too. So I don't know. I didn't even think, like, I'm just real relaxed down here at the beach, man. I just don't know what to tell you.
It's changed you,
know?
man. It's changed.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'm losing that edge.
Shirt, no shoes, no problem. You know?
Right.
It's the Russillo house motto.
What is that? No,
it's Kenny Chesney
no
right
shoes
there.
radio. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, here let's get to some advice on this because that's not what we do. All right, not a truck guy. Can I drive a truck? 41, 6'1", 225. I think you're good. We just say yes. 6'1", 220, 245 bench. Player comp is strapped from Hoosiers minus the religious devotion. That was very specific. I'm considering moving from an SUV to a truck. I've been a passenger in a few full-size trucks on recent golf trips, and I've taken a liking to the vehicle class. Here's my dilemma. I have no occupational or recreational reason to own a truck. I also don't have a persona that says, that guy drives a truck. When I tell others, we should do that, retract that. That guy drives a truck. When I tell others that I'm thinking about getting a truck, the common response is, really? You? Jesus. The whole decision's already in your head. Some color. I live in the suburbs of Cleveland and work in finance. My wardrobe sits at the intersection of Costco and Golf Pro Shops. My favorite band is Fish. I have no polarizing bumper stickers or window decals. Come of age amid the Like a Rock Chevy truck commercials. God, this is really good writing. And it was impressed upon me that men who drive trucks do the following: off-road in the Badlands, haul lumber, toss discarded oil drums into truck beds with a plumb. I realize the vast majority of truck owners do none of these things, but most have practical reasons for driving a truck. I don't. I would use a truck bed the same way I would use the cargo area of my SUV to store shopping bags, golf clubs, used sports equipment. Would me driving a truck be akin to a bald man wearing a toupee? Not a good look. Should I just stick with an SUV? Appreciate any feedback. Thanks for reading. Well-written email. Terrific. You guys want to start this one?
Can you start with a small truck and see how you like it? I think.
Don't bother.
First of all, you could totally be.
What's the point?
A truck guy. You could totally. Everyone deserves to be a truck guy. You know, extended cab maybe. Go a little nicer. Get a little back row of seats there. I think you should totally do it. I'm gonna be a truck guy one day. Guarantee it. You could cash that check now.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah. So yeah, do it, man. Do it. Just start picking out your brand. I don't know. You sound like a Chevy guy. I'm more of a Ford dude, but Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What you're going to do with it, you're going to help your buddies move. And I don't know, maybe if there's a nice drive-in, throw a futon mattress in the back. It's the best driving experience you've ever had. Not a lot of driving movies left in this country, but if you could find one, I would take it.
Not that I'm anti-truck.
One of my buddies were going to do this. I fucking knew you were going to do
this. Well, this is what I bring to the table, man. I don't know. We need to balance it out. One of my buddies, one of my good friends, we were just in Mexico. Shouts out to the crew there. He has a pickup truck, and he gets mercilessly roasted in the chat for it. Like, you know how many dump run jokes my buddies have made about it? And like, none of it, he never did. Because the thing is, he doesn't even need the truck. He doesn't need it at all. He's just kind of like a hardo dude. He wants to have a Dodge Ram. He wants to be like taller than everybody else when he's driving around. But I just don't. Most guys do not need, like, you could rent a truck at Home Depot if you need to make a dump run one time for like $15 an hour. You don't need a pickup truck. They're gas guzzlers. They're incredibly expensive. And here's the thing too, Kyle. You said, why don't you just start a small truck? What's the point of owning a small truck? Like, the whole point
is
that
you seen a Ranger
stuff with.
Have you seen a Ford Ranger?
You can't even fit anything in them. They're so small. Like, what's the point of even having it?
Nice big TV.
So, now, I will
nice big
say,
TV at Best Buy. Throw it in the back.
I will say my father-in-law, just so I save this, does have a truck. He has a Chevy Colorado. I actually do like that truck. He tows around. They have like an RV, like a trailer type thing. So they kind of need that. But you could do that with a Jeep too, man. And so I've just never understood the appeal of trucks. And if you don't need it, why do you want it? It feels like you're overcompensating when you're driving a truck. That's just how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel.
This is terrible. The truck does appeal to him, though. You just said it like it doesn't appeal to me. It does appeal to this guy. What the fuck? I don't know, man.
I'm going to push back on the Ranger a bit. But, you know, I've had
pro or con?
I wouldn't. If you're getting a truck, get a truck. You know, don't.
I agree. Okay.
Don't go halfway.
Sorry to the Ranger dudes out there.
Yeah. Look, that's fine. Like, I get you can park it anywhere. So I get it. If it makes sense for what you're doing, you don't need the full-size truck.
Back if you need.
Yeah, right. I would not get a Ranger. All right, is my point.
That's fine.
So
all right.
I've wanted a truck. I want one now. I want to go back to my truck roots. You know, I had a smaller truck, and then I had a full-size Dodge, and I don't, you know, I loved it, but I can't fit a truck. I can't fit the truck into my house. I can't fit it in a garage. And then when I mentioned what I wanted like a dually, and they're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense in LA. You're going to go up to Hollywood one day and have to park that. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I know it's going to suck. There's going to be all these spots I can't park in. I don't care. I want a big, nasty truck. I want to put some flange on it. Like, I want the whole thing. I want a CD radio. Nuts. Yeah. I want to do the whole, maybe a Western theme on the back window. Like, I want it. And I just can't, because I can't park it at my house. It's not going to fit in the garage. So ruled it out. I don't like how often in life, to what Cerruti said, is that if you do something that you want to do, you will receive some amount of joy. You know, life is hard enough. If you look in your driveway and you see your truck and you're like, fucking cool, I did it. I always wanted one. You know what? I granted families and, you know, the significant others and budgets and kids and prioritizing things. But if you can find some 20-year like quest and fulfill it with some mild level of happiness, because you come home and you park your truck in the driveway and then you look out when you're doing the dishes and you see it there and you're like, that's fucking cool. I finally got one. I always wanted one when I was a little kid. And now I have it because I'm an adult. And then you got to worry about your neighbor making a dick joke. Like, fuck off, man. You know, I don't like this stuff. I mean, the same thing goes for sports cars. Like, anybody I see tooling around in a Ferrari, like, there's a white Ferrari that I see all the time now, and I'm like, that thing is sick. It is awesome. But I'm supposed to have some reservation about ever doing it because somebody's going to talk about my sexual prowess at the golf course. Like, who gives a shit? So if you can find some reward in something that you can afford and that you've always wanted. Now, there is some part of me that wonders with the e-meter, if you're like, do you really want it? And then you're going to get it and be like, man, my golf clubs slam around all over the truck bed all the time. Now there's cargo nets. There's ways to, you know, adapt to that a little bit, that you'll get it and have remorse. But I say do it. And, you know, there's another little thing called trade-ins. And if it doesn't work out and it's not practical and it doesn't make sense, and yeah, it's not going to be the best financial decision, you go, you know what? It actually doesn't. And now you at least know the answer instead of always wondering. So find ways to have those just moments of happiness when you're a little bit later, instead of worrying about to think about how much people would go like, oh, I want to do this. I want to get this car. I want to move to this house. I want to get a boat. I want to do, but I'm worried about what people will say. Who gives a shit?
For the record,
Last thing I'll say on that, my mom
Whoa.
drove a pickup truck for the really, as long as I can remember, F-250. So there, how was that for stigma? Fuck off, Steve. Sorry.
Now I feel like an asshole.
Just kidding.
But the guy's asking for our opinions on trucks. I'm not a pro truck guy. I think they're bad investments. Fine. I think 90% of people who have trucks do not need trucks. But you're right. If it makes you happy, I'm not telling you, if it's gonna make you happy and that's what you want to do, then there's your answer. Why are you emailing life advice? I'm just telling you what I think about trucks and why I think most of the people who have trucks, and most trucks it's illogical. They don't actually need them, and they're bad investments. They are gas guzzlers. And listen, I'm an SUV guy, so I'm not sitting here talking to you about, let's save the environment. I just think they're bad investments, and most people do not need them. So I feel bad if you want to have a truck. I will say, though, I do definitely subscribe to, like, if you're going to get a truck, get an actual truck. Get something that's, probably a quad cab, right? Or at least isn't, a single cab, so that you could have, like, multiple people in it. But if you're going to get, like, a little... I remember one of my best friends drove an S10. You guys remember the S10s? That's not even a truck, man. That thing is like basically a car with a flatbed in the back, without the back seats. Yeah. So if you're going to get a truck, get like a freaking 150 Silverado, whatever you want to get. They're just not for me. I'm sorry.
Check out the 150 Lightnings, 320-mile range, all electric, and you get trunk space in the front. I've been eyeing that, but I don't know what Cleveland's electric grid is like, but check it out.
Russillo strikes me as like a Rivian type guy if he was to get a truck.
No.
Okay.
Dude, what?
You don't think so? I think that's very on brand.
Do you know
I saw
me?
one in Manhattan Beach when we were there. Yeah. It's like kind of edgy, new. I don't know. That's the thing that you kind of like.
Not when it comes to trucks.
All right. Well, you haven't had a truck.
Not when it comes to trucks. I may have misused the word flange, by the way. I'm on Rainey's right now. Rainey's Truck Parts. And I'm looking at this Freightliner Turbo Wing. We can get one 70 inches long, 70 inches wide. Long would be long. I think it's wide. Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Like the stuff I want, it'd be like, wait, is it 8 or 9 miles to the gallon?
Yeah. 20 to 24 highway for the new F-150s, 20 around town. Still better than what I'm getting on the old Mustang.
I think the Silverado calls the right one. I think they're a sponsor at times too. So let's just stay in that lane. Okay. We got a syrup smell follow up. I just have to read this one, and then I'll do one more straightforward kind of guys, gals type of deal. Love the pod. May have an idea about the syrup smell from the last pod. When my wife was pregnant with our twins 14 years ago, one day I started smelling syrup around the house. I was quite perplexed by this. Turns out my wife had started taking an herbal supplement called Fenugreek. Fenugreek. Even though she was taking it in pill form, it literally made her smell like syrup. It was bizarre. When I pointed it out, she stopped taking it, which is good because according to Wikipedia, it has no effects. It's proven to have no therapeutic effects. Someone in the house may have been taking it, growing it or something. It would explain the smell. Do you think your syrup buddy, Kyle, was on some homeopathic?
These weren't supplements, people. No, I don't.
Yeah,
definitely
that's kind of what I was guessing.
Definitely weren't supplements, people. It was Big Hostess family. Big Hostess family.
That was seriously, like, you didn't even have to answer it. I already know who they are, and I already know that they're not going, oh, wait, did you take your magnesium tonight? All right.
Right.
Final one. Try to be brief. 6'2", 240, max bench 385. Really wish I could get 405. Don't we all, buddy? Don't we all? I'm really scared that I have now, like whatever was going on a year or so ago was the peak, and now it's like, nope, it's just... But you know what? I've never hit my peak. Keep saying that to yourself. All right. Type of guy who doesn't squat because it hurts my back. That's fine. My friends and I are having a New Year's Eve party where we'll exchange gifts. Do we get an age here? I don't think we did. We exchange gifts, white elephant format. It's the second year in a row we're doing this, and generally acceptable by the group to invite your girlfriend to the proceedings. For context, there's 15 to 17 of us, depending on who can make it,
Jesus
with
Christ.
maybe 8 to 10 girlfriends tacked on. Oh, okay. We are all... Okay, 27, 29. Dude, you guys are You have any extra friends for some of us?
God damn.
Yeah, save some for the rest of us, dude. So we're talking like, I don't know, 25 to 30 people at this thing. So they're in Hoboken. Not sure if it matters. I wanted to give you the situation. One of the guys invited his girlfriend and several of her friends. Let's call this guy Jimmy. Normally, this wouldn't matter, except one of her friends is the ex-girlfriend of one of the other guys in the group. Let's call this other guy Peter. Peter and the ex-girlfriend do not, all caps, like each other, and he definitely does not want her there, especially because his new girlfriend will be there. Peter called her a, quote, nut job when he found out about that she might be coming. So Peter and Jimmy got into an argument in the group chat that culminated with Peter telling Jimmy his brain had melted. The most egregious part is that the only reason all of the guys found out this ex-girlfriend was invited is because Jimmy's girlfriend said something. So he wouldn't even have known. Peter would have been like, what the hell's going on here? Jimmy was intending for them to show up without having told anyone he invited them. Who is in the wrong here? Should Peter swallow his pride and suck it up? Or is it a dick move for Jimmy to have invited Peter's ex-girlfriend at all? Extra details, Peter and this girl dated for like 4 months. Both are kind of hotheads. 4 months, and it's this big of a deal. Look, I'm just going to say it. She shouldn't want to go.
Correct.
Right.
Okay? The fact that she wants to go means this is going to be bad.
I mean, she is
All
a
right?
nut job.
Yeah, right. Like, and by the way, you're in Hoboken. There's probably other stuff you could do. But maybe she is lighter on the friends and doesn't have as many options and doesn't want to be left
You guys
out. I mean,
hoarded all the friends, so there you go.
yeah, New Year's Eve is a very tough holiday for the lonely people because it's like, hey, you can go and drink, but you're still supposed to have that kind of someone. And then the all-time mind fuck of the 11:59 text to somebody you used to date that's not there, right? I just don't think she should go, but she's clear. If she is a quote unquote nut job, then she does want to go. She does want to see what's going to happen. She's going to want to see, like, I've had a couple times where like I'd broken up with somebody and then like the bat signal went out that I was out with somebody new. And then a girl went to a restaurant bar where I was eating in the restaurant bar because I couldn't get a main table. And the ex sat at the bar and watched me fucking eat while like dudes hit on her in front of me the whole time with the ex. And then the new girl's like, is this serious? And of course, then you look like, she's like, you're still hooking up with her. Like nobody would normally do this. I'm like, nope,
Right.
She's actually doing it. And you know, there's nothing I can do about this right now. And it's super unfortunate. So our boy Peter, if this ex shows up, you know, we could all pretend we're adults here. You already said they're both hotheads. You're in your 20s. The New Jersey angle part of this, it's going to screw up the night. So I'm on Peter's side. I'm not on Jimmy's side. And the fact that Jimmy was going to, is the win for him to his girlfriend being like, hey, it would be great if you could invite her too, even though everybody knows it's a bad idea. Does he have to have that kind of win with his girlfriend to maybe sabotage the entire fucking night, or at the very least bum Peter out? And then on top of it, Peter's going to have to deal with stuff with his new girlfriend where she's just going to be like, hey, you were a little off. It's going to be up to Peter to remain calm and be cool about it and be dismissive. Oh, hey, how's it going? Here's the hug. No big deal. This is the new girl. What's up? Cool and composed. That's probably not going to happen based on booze, New Year's, New Jersey location, and the fact that you told us both are hotheads already. So I'm on Peter's side, but I hope he can pull it together. He's not going to be able to.
If this wasn't New Year's Eve, I would be like, it's absolutely 100% you can't come. Sorry, you can't come to our Christmas, our friend's Christmas, whatever the Friendsgiving word for Christmas is. Like, sorry, you can't come. But it is New Year's, so it's a little different. I'm sure there's been rules bent over the years in this sort of thing. I'm sure if you guys are like 27, 29. So I'm sure there isn't like rigid rules where like, well, you know, she's not one of the girlfriends, so she can't come. I think you could look at whoever I can't keep track of the names. Is Peter the good guy or the bad guy? But
Peter's the good guy.
The good guy.
Peter's the good guy. All right. So who's the bad guy? We don't know.
Jimmy.
Okay.
Todd's not making this part.
Be like, Jim, and there's 30 people at this thing. Jimmy, if you're insisting and you don't have the balls to tell her this is a bad idea, I totally forgot, whatever, and you don't want to ruin her New Year's, fine. Don't talk to me. Well, there's 30 of us. I'll see you eventually. It's fine. I don't have you for Secret Santa, so it's all good. Just stay. We're staying away from each other. It's fine. If there was 10 people, it would be impossible. But there's enough people that you could totally not talk to Jimmy at all. You totally could.
Yeah, I'm mostly with you guys, but just to play devil's advocate, like, is 30 enough where it's like, that's a big party, man. Like, just do your own thing and avoid her. Like, grow
Right.
up, suck it up. Because
she doesn't
agree,
want to
like,
be avoided. She doesn't want. She
I
wants
agree.
conflict.
I agree, because I have like there's a little personal story. Broke up with this girl years and years ago, and she didn't really like my friends. My friends didn't really like her. But then when we broke up, she started going to all the friend functions, and I'm like, I know what you're doing here. Like, you don't even want to be here. Like, you don't like these people. They don't like you. And then there was a dust up. One of my buddies told her, like, I don't even like you, to her face, and then she started crying, and this whole thing, and it just created more drama. So that, you're right. She wants to be there to make a statement. But is 30 people enough to be like, all right, just can you just be nice? My one thing I would add too is, this party is for the boys, right? We talked about this. They said it's the boys, it's the guys' party, yes. And then you bring some of them are going to bring their significant others. So I feel like the priority, like Jimmy, the priority is you guys. You know, it's not a girls' party. It's not like this co-ed party that everyone's putting together. It's the boys' party, and you are allowed to bring some significant others. He's fucking it up. So that's what I would say. It's a boys' first party. Let's think of the boys first.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with getting that point across. You don't have to put your foot down, but you can just say like, wow, buddy, this is not a good look for you. And then everybody else knows if this girl's following you around, everyone else at the party who's going to be the majority is going to be like, what are you doing to this nut job? You spaz. Like, I think that could, like, if everyone's on the same page, and like, she's not going to want to be there too long if the whole party turns on her too. So I think I think you get your point across. You don't say like, well, I'm not coming if you're letting her come. I think you're like, buddy, this is terrible. You're sure? Like, we all hate you for this right now, but sure, if that's what you got to do. And then I think just use your best judgment. It should be okay.
Well done. We will have a pod for you on Friday. Thanks to Steve. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Cliff. Ryen Russillo Podcast, Ringer Spotify.